Welcome back, students, to IELTS Online Lecture 2. Uh, I'm sure most of you have watched Lecture 1, and we left at the reading techniques. We were discussing that what is reading in IELTS. In simple form, it's like a comprehension which we do in school. Like they'll give you a passage and ask few questions from it. But as I said before, IELTS is more of a technique exam than English exam. Like it's a combination of technique and English, but it focuses more on the techniques. So in reading, there are 10 major types of questions. If we broadly categorize, it's in order questions and not in order. So yesterday we discussed 4 types of in order questions. I'm sure if you have watched the video, you all know what are in order questions. The 4 types of in order questions we were discussing yesterday. Number 1, fill in the blanks. Number 2, true, false, not given. Number 3, multiple choice questions, or you can say MCQs. And number 4, I'll write here, short answer questions. Whether you're doing academic or general, these techniques are the same for in order and not in order. Fill in the blanks, true, false, not given, multiple choice, short answer. And for true, false, as said, yes or no comes in the same category. So let's dig a little more deeper. Okay, I'll just rub it all so we have more space to write. So let's discuss the first technique. Just give me a second. Okay, so the number 1 category is fill in the blanks. What is fill in the blanks? Fill in the blanks in IELTS exam, you would be given like a question, a statement, and then there will be some blanks in it, some space in which there is no word written, and you have to fill it with a word taken from the passage. You cannot write any word from yourself, or you cannot write any synonym. You have to write the word from the passage as it is, same spelling. So before moving to questions, which we will later on in the next classes, but let's discuss some that how to deal if you have to face this question in the exam, which definitely you will more or less question, but fill in the blanks. So how to tackle this kind of question? The most important thing you have to do is read the question carefully, or let's make it read the statement. It's like they do not like ask you a question, it's read the statement, the question statement carefully, and sense of it, or the essence, the meaning, sense of it. Second thing, it wouldn't take more than 10 seconds. Second thing, the most important thing when solving the fill in the blanks is this thing. Focus on the words, or you can underline on the words which are just before or immediately before and after the blank. Focus on the words immediately before and after the blank. Mean, like you have a statement and then there is a blank. So you have focus on the word just before and just after the blank. So just one more thing, you have to look for the blank. You have to take the same word, but the question could have synonyms. So look and scan for the synonyms, and it's synonyms of the statement, not of the blank. Blank, you have to take the same word. Look and scan for the words for the synonyms. Actually, look for the synonyms in the passage. So these are 3 steps in which you have to deal with fill in the blanks question. Read the statement carefully and understand the sense of it, or the meaning of it, what's said in the statement. Focus on the words immediately before and after the blank, okay? Then look and scan for the synonyms in the passage. Because like what's written in the statement does not necessarily mean that the same words will be used in the passage. Could be synonyms. So you have to look and scan. Why did I use the word look and scan? Why didn't I use the word understand? Because like it's a limited time exam. IELTS is a limited time exam. And if you try to read and understand everything in detail, then you would not be able to complete the exam on time. So you have to look and scan for the synonyms, and where you find the answer, then you have to like read that statement. That would be enough. So read the statement carefully and understand the sense of it. Focus on the words immediately before and after the blank. Look and scan for the synonyms in the passage. And the 4th step is like obviously you have to fill the blank. Oh, just give you some time to. I'm sure we have chat, so I'll just. Remember, in this lecture, we are only discussing the techniques for in-order questions. The next step would be solving the questions from the exams. Okay, all of this as well. Okay, number 2. Remember, only we are discussing the in-order techniques at this point. True, false, not given. True, false, not given. Or you can say yes, no, not given. Same. Okay? True, false, not given. Yes, no, not given. It's same. Okay. This question, like, Okay, it's similar to fill in the blanks, but little different. What do you have to do? Number one, underline the important words. First step, underline, read the statement, and then underline the important words. Obviously, read first. I'll make it more clear. Underline the important words. Next step, identify what is said in the statement. What is said or asked in the statement. It's very important. Because maybe when you see the passage, you will get confused. It's given true, false, not given. So when you read the question carefully or the statement carefully, then you would know that what is actually asked, and then it will be easier for you to like scan it in the passage. So identify what is said or asked in the statement. It's very important, very, very important. Identify what is asked or said in the statement. Okay, and the fourth one. Third one, actually, sorry. Look and scan for synonyms in the passage. Underline the important words, identify what is asked or said in the statement. By statement, I mean the true and false statement. And look and scan for the synonym in the passage. Important point to say over here, when I say synonyms, it does not mean that always you have to look for the synonyms. First, you have to look for the same words. Sometimes it's the same word. The words in the passage and word in the statement are same. So sometimes you have to deal with the same words. Sometimes you have to look for the synonyms. Sometimes you cannot find the exact synonyms and you have to make sense that what is said in the statement and what is said in the passage, it's the same. Remember, it's most important point. First, you have to look for the same words, then look for the synonyms, and then if you cannot find synonyms, then you have to look if the sense is same or not. Okay, next step in this question, how to solve it. Underline the important words. You read the statement, underline the important words. Then identify what is said or asked in the statement. Very important. Then look and scan for the synonyms in the passage. Then how can you decide if it's true, false, or not given? Okay, so you have, okay, step 1 you have done, step 2 you have done, step 3. Then how would you know? First thing, they will, in the exam, IELTS exam, they will trick you. Maybe they will say, in the statement, maybe he goes to college every Thursday. Okay? And in the passage, it could be written, he goes to college. So in the statement, if it's written, he goes to college every Thursday. But in the passage, it's only written, he goes to college. So then it's not given. Again, you may be saying, oh, it's given. No, it's not given. It has to be exactly the same. By exactly the same, I mean, like, does not necessarily mean the same words or synonyms. It has to make the exact same sense. So, if how would you decide if it's true, false, not given? If the statement means exactly the same, exact words, synonyms, same sense, so it all comes in this thing. If the statement means exactly the same, when you solve the question, we'll see the example. So if the statement means exactly the same, it's true or yes. Okay. If the statement is exactly opposite, or different, if the statement is exactly opposite or different, it's false. If the statement means exactly the same, it's true. Could be same words, I'll repeat it, could be same words, could be different words, but synonyms or meaning the same. If the statement is exactly opposite or different, could be exactly opposite or different, it's false. I'm telling you the comparison between the statement and the passage. And if it's not mentioned, the answer would be not given. Remember these three things. How would you tackle after doing the 3 steps? How would you tackle the question that should I write true, false, not given? Because true and false are sometimes tricky. Fill in the blanks, as I said, if you solve it step by step, could be difficult but not that much tricky. True and false, sometimes, not all the questions, but like let's say 2 or 3 questions in the whole exam could be tricky. So you should know how to tackle these questions if it comes in the exam. So I guess you have written it, so I'll rub it and move forward. I'll give it to 1 minute, right? Okay, I'll rub it. Type number 3, which is multiple choice questions. Or some people say MCQs, both is correct. And remember, multiple choice questions also in order. How to deal with this kind of question? Simple, not difficult. The steps are simple, questions sometimes could be tricky. So, point number 1. Read the question carefully. Remember this thing, in the IELTS exam, reading question is the most important thing. Question carefully. and underline the important words. I'm talking about the question statement, not the choices. Read the question carefully and underline the important words. Like, it's step by step. When we come to choices, I'll discuss that. Read the question carefully and underline the important words. Point number 2. Step number 2. Actually, identify what is asked in the question, the statement, the question statement. Identify what is asked in the question statement, because in this one you will be given different choices, so you should know what is asked. Read the question carefully and underline the important words. Identify what is asked in the question statement. And then third part, you have done these two parts. Look at the choices. Okay, these are first 3 steps. First, you read the question carefully and underline the important words. I'm talking about the statement. Identify what is asked in the question statement. Look at the choices. So let's say you are given 4 choices, A, B, C, D. So you will look at the choices. Then, what do you have to do? Right over here. Read the passage, or read the passage to scan, and the rule of theorem would apply in this. Read the passage and scan for the answer. Normally multiple choice questions takes a bit longer because you have to look at the choices. So once you have looked at the choices and read the passage to scan for the answer, it's possible that, like, maybe in some questions you can immediately just select one, but it could be possible that you're confused between 2 or 3 choices. So what you have to do, next step, if you can write it, and I will. The next step is very important. Eliminate means get rid of, eliminate. Let's say 4 choices, so, and you're confused between 2. So first eliminate the wrong answers. Let's say A, B, C, D, and you think could be A or C, and B or D is definitely no. So eliminate it. Maybe put a small cross, or in your mind you can do as you wish. Eliminate the wrong answers. First step. Then read that part of the passage. Read the passage again, the part where you found the answer. Read the passage again, and by when I say read the passage again, that part. Select the only selected part. So read the passage again, and then choose the right answer. Because why? You could have done that first time. Sometimes you would be able to do. But sometimes you are confused between 4 choices. So when you eliminate the wrong choices, let's say 4 choices, you eliminate the 2 wrong answers, then you have to choose between 2. And when you read the passage again, then it will be easier for you to select the correct one. So then choose the right answer, and you are done with it. Simple. I like, but you have to, it could be tricky sometimes, so you have to like follow the steps. If you skip the steps, maybe you would be able to choose the right answer. In the tricky part you will get confused, so you follow the steps. It will take maybe 10 seconds for each step, so in a minute you will be able to solve. 4th, short answer questions. Short answer questions are somehow similar to fill in the blanks, but like in this one it's little different, not much. Okay, first step is again read the question carefully. You might be thinking why I'm saying again and again read the question carefully, because as I said before, IELTS is a tricky exam and sometimes they might confuse you, so and that confusion is in the question. So if you read the question carefully and identify what is asked, then solving the exam would be much easier. Read the question carefully and underline the important words. Read the question carefully and underline the important words. Again, same thing. Identify what is asked in the question. In the question statement. Read the question carefully and underline the important words, then read it again and identify what is exactly asked in the question. And then look and scan. And again, when I say synonyms, I mean like could be synonyms, could be same words as in the question statement, or could be meaning the same. Look and scan for synonyms in the passage. I'll read it one more time. Read the question carefully and underline the important words. Identify what is asked in the question. Look and scan for the synonyms in the passage. An important note when you're solving short answer questions, or like for all the other 3 types which we discussed, is you have to follow the instructions. Very important, very, very important. You have to follow the instructions. By following instructions, I mean, for example, obviously in true false, you know what you can write: true, false, or not given. Same with the multiple choice question, but this applies in fill in the blanks and in short answer questions. Is, for example, they might give instruction: answer cannot be, or different, they could be like choose no more than two words. Answer cannot be more than two words. Answer cannot be more than two words, or cannot be more than one word. Then you have to follow the instructions. Answer cannot be more than two words, so you can write one or two in the answer, not more than two. If the right answer cannot be more than one word, then you can only write one word. Let's see if I change over here. Answer cannot be more than one word, then you have to follow it. Yes, one exception, if they say cannot be more than one word or and a number, then you can also add a number if it's required or if it's the requirement of the question. Otherwise, you simply follow the instruction. That's it for today's lecture. But before I go, I'll give a small briefing that about what's gonna follow. In the following lectures, I'll be discussing techniques how to deal with a writing exam, how to deal with listening exam. We'll also discuss the speaking part. In the next lecture, would not be about reading. I will discuss not in order, and I'll discuss the examples of in order, but in the later classes. In the next lecture, I would be dealing with some speaking and writing techniques. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.